Live free and be happy, baby.
Funny, sad, and embarrassing at the same time, bro. To be honest with you, bro, I ain't gonna even lie. You know what I mean? I get all parts of that shit. I can feel it from all sides. You feel what I'm saying? Like in one sense, you got black people that saying like they embarrassed because Will is like top class. He's supposed to be considered like the classy of our types. You feel what I'm saying? And then he acted out like that. Then you got the hood part where people like, hey man, we know from the block if you disrespect my woman, I'm gonna address it. You feel what I'm saying? And what you say when I ain't looking, I'm gonna catch you one on one. When you do it in public, I gotta address it in public because you did it in public. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like all types of shit, bro. I ain't gonna even lie, bro. It's just all types of feelings, bro. It's all types of feelings. It's so much. It's so many feelings that it's confusing if you ain't settled and what feeling you want to commit to. You feel me? But what you think about that shit though?
I think that shit was like everything is a distraction, especially to a nigga. A nigga can be distracted by anything. Goddamn, the wind can blow the wrong way. A nigga gonna be distracted. But it's definitely a distraction. Um, and I think it's just some shit like to entertain white people and get black people involved in to put their full energy and to make some money for some motherfuckers who playing a role and fooling motherfuckers easily. Like, you know damn well these people actors and shit. You can fool by some actors, and like you say, in a building full of actors, man, it's just like the thing with me is just doing that shit. You supposed to be at the what that was, the Oscars, the Grammys, the
Yeah.
Oscars for the movies, yeah, the Oscars, and you doing this shit in front of a bunch of white people at a place where you probably really shouldn't even be. They don't give a fuck about you at the damn Oscars. That shit for white people, man. They put on the
And you
show.
know, they definitely put on the show because right, look, dig, right? Like how you just said, like how white folks, right? See, when they come at us, bro, this is just my opinion, right? I'm just gonna tell you my opinion and my perspective. When they come at us, right? They always gonna pick the top tier. That's just like this is how they work our emotions, right? Do you know? I'm gonna tell you this, right? I might be all over the place, but follow. It's like remember when when Mike Epps went at Kevin Hart and the commercial people went pick Kevin Hart because he was more professional. He was more lenient, right? He was more what they call non-problematic. But Mike Epps was like from the block. He was a hood dude that made it, and he just he entertained his core audience, right? So when he said something, everybody was like, "Man, Mike Epps a hater. He this, he woo woo woo. He just mad at Kevin Hart." But remember when when everybody stopped talking about Mike Epps versus Kevin Hart, it's when Kevin Hart did what? Remember he got on SNL and dressed up like Annie, the little white girl, and was dancing and shit. Niggas was like, man, we ain't fucking with that. What the fuck is you doing, bro? So that was their opportunity to come in. See, they always gonna target the icons, bro. The people that the prestige look up to. Cause the ones that's on the block, that's from the hood, man, we don't give a fuck what they think. They think we ain't shit whether we got money or we don't got money. So they ain't gonna a Mike Epps that's rising to the top. It's a Kevin Hart in this way. You feel what I'm saying? That's just like when uh what's that with Kanye, right? What was dude's name? I can't even remember his name, bro.
Skeet.
Yes, that's Keith.
DL Hughley.
Oh yeah, DL.
Come on, bro. When we watch the Kings of Comedy, everybody on the block. When you watch Kings of Comedy, you ain't trying to hear Steve Harvey or you ain't trying to hear DL Hughley. You listening to Sid and Bernie Mac, bro. You feel what I'm saying? When DL Hughley came out talking about how he disrespectful and how he coming at Kim Kardashian and all that shit, bro, that shit was for them, bro. That they picked him and gassed him up, bro. DL Hughley whole career is based off making fun of people in the crowd, bro. We don't know him for nothing real, bro, or telling no real jokes, bro. We know him for finding somebody weak in the crowd and riding them, bro. So he talking about Kanye bullying Kim Kardashian and all that. That's how I looked at that with that Will Smith, bro. That shit was staged. At the end of the day, that shit was staged, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. Will Smith, this man watched his wife come out and clown him and reveal secret letters of her and Tupac and tell her how she was unattracted to him sexually and they had no connection. It was an open relationship and she was in an entanglement. And he sat there and took that shit on the chin. And then a comedian come out and make a joke about your wife. Now you tough? Man, that shit has so many signals in it, man. That's that shit to me, that shit run deep, right? Cause that's what that was a moment. It was several moments for me. I'm gonna tell you the one moment that stood out the most. It's because when it comes to comedians that speak they straight up mind and make the jokes, a lot of that stem from Dave Chappelle, if you can follow. You see how Dave Chappelle come at the Transformers, bro?
Uh-huh.
That was a moment for a comedian, for them to shame a comedian, not to say what they want to say, bro.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's how when I first saw it, I knew to me off the bat, I said, man, that shit ain't real. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if nobody else saw it coming. Chris, Will, and the Academy Awards knew it was coming. Will, Chris, and they producers knew it was coming. It don't matter what nobody else think. Don't nobody care. You feel what I'm saying? But the main thing that stuck out to me is because Dave Chappelle been riding that community, bro. That rainbow flag community. He been riding them, bro. He been on their head telling jokes and speaking freely, and they don't like it. That was a moment. Everybody watched the Oscars. Everybody that think they're important or that want to be important gonna watch the Oscars. That was a political statement. Out of all the feelings that I got about that shit, whether it was real, whether it was fake, whether it was embarrassment, whether it was a time where they show what black people can't get along, we can't go. It's that mentality, oh, you can't take a nigga nowhere type mentality. It could have been all that, but the one thing that stood out to me, bro, was that comedian factor. Because when Chris Rock spoke as a comedian, Will Smith ain't no comedian. He's an actor that do comedy and drama. You feel what I'm saying? So when he did that, that was an attack on free thinkers, bro.
Yeah.
Whether you
Hey,
want to
let me
put it
say
on the
one thing.
category,
One
go
thing,
ahead.
because if you can silence the comedians, ain't nobody else that can say shit. Because the comedians is the only ones that's always had the free right to express themselves freely and say it in a joking way or however you say it, but still express a point to get across. You know what I'm saying? If you take that from them, it's like now, because that was the excuse for them to be able to get away with it, because it's comedy. So if they can't say it, can't nobody say it now. That's why like that attack on like like you say about Dave Chappelle, and I ain't even think about it like that, but that's definitely what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That look. Dave Chappelle done made what 80, 90 billion off Netflix, talking crazy to that community. And he being a comedian, he's allowing, like you just said, the comedian is his last frontier commercially that can speak the stuff, whether it's in a joking or serious manner, and people will listen. They will entertain it. It will make people allow people to think and be free. You feel what I'm saying? So that was a smack at the comedians. That's why after he smacked them or whatever that show he put on, what did he say? I want to say sorry to the Academy Awards and my fellow actors. You see what I'm saying? That was a smack on, man. Come on, man. That shit. You can look at that shit so many different type of ways. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look at it as a you can look at it as they showing black people don't know how to act when they go in certain places in certain spaces. You can look at it as the black woman is the most unprotected person, and here her black man is stood up for her. You can look at it as a person standing up for somebody that they love and they care about. Or you can look at it as they trying to silence free thought, free expression, or you can look at it as straight ignorance and comment and entertainment. It's too many feelings for somebody to sit there and say somebody else is wrong for how they viewing it.
I looked at it and shit while I was on the phone, but I just saw I ain't listened to the audio. I just saw what happened and shit. But I know he said a joke about it. I don't even know the joke he said. They were talking about alopecia or whatever because she bald head or something.
He said, hold on. He said, the joke was, he said, hey, Jada, I love you. Looking forward to G.I. Jane Part 2. Because she had the low haircut. That was the joke that kicked it off.
That wasn't, but to me, I promise you, that wasn't all of it. Did you see the outfit she had on?
Yeah, she was out there looking like a peacock,
She deserved to be roasted. That, and you saw the color of that outfit?
all green.
It looked
Happy,
like, and it was
happy Irish
Marines
Day.
color. It looked like some GI. That when without me knowing what he said, and I heard he said something about GI Jane. To me, I think he was talking about the outfit too. That outfit bogus, and it was the color. Like he probably couldn't help himself once he saw that bald head and that outfit, man. But for real, you niggas need to boycott their mentality.
Yeah, but what is their mentality? Look, hey, look, when Juneteenth passed, Malcolm X birthday passed, Marcus Garvey birthday passed, Elijah Muhammad, Noble Jew Ali, Francis Quest Wesley. We didn't celebrate none of that shit in drones.
Right.
But when I look up and I see 100 niggas downtown celebrating St. Patrick's Day, them the same, it's that number's gonna go greater on January the 1st. Niggas is gonna be out there with red, white, and blue on celebrating 1776 when white folks got their independence and they helped them, and then they turned around and say, nigga, if you don't pick that cotton, boy, I'll beat the fuck out of you. They sent you right back to pick cotton after you helped them get their independence. And in 2022, Negroes gonna be barbecuing, playing music. They gonna celebrate like it ain't no tomorrow. Like tomorrow, the last day, they go celebrate. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When it comes to the barbecue sauce, man, how you gonna get people to stop eating barbecue sauce or try to educate them on barbecue sauce? And niggas is still putting up Jesus, Moses, Saint Mary, Christ, or whatever, Jehovah. They gonna put them white folks right in the front of their crib, and they live in the crib and they ain't even got no chimney, and gonna have a Santa Claus and Rudolph and the reindeers off their roof. And you talk about barbecue sauce. I get what you saying. I know I get your point, what you was joking. But them the same people that just watch Will Smith so-called smack Chris Rock for talking about his wife. Once in 2016 and then 6 years later, but in the midst of that, his wife was sleeping with the young bull. And he sat up there and cried at the red tape. So what we gonna blame that? Because he got caught in the act of being King Richard. He was still in acting mode. He was still like Tupac was in Juice when he gave us Tupacalypse. Okay, I feel you. It sound good. It sound good. That shit is an act. Motherfuckers ain't been watching the Oscars. You ain't heard. It's some people that don't even know this was the 2022 Oscars. They ain't talked about the Oscars in the last 5 or 6 years, bro. Ain't nobody watching that shit. You know what I'm saying? They had to do something. This is what they call shock value in the internet world. This is algorithm. You can't cut on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, or TikTok. What is the topic right now? Not just Will Smith, but the Oscars.
Yep.
Period. Period.
They looking forward to the next Oscars now.
They looking, because you know why? Everybody is going to turn around and be tuned into the next Oscars because they're expecting something now. Because why? Chris Rock. Next year, I promise you, you can quote me on this. I promise you there won't be one black nominee next year for a movie, for Oscar in 2023. How many did they have this year?
People don't even care because they got two. They had two.
Two black nominees. You know who those twos was? Samuel Jackson and Will Smith. So this man smacked the hell out of this man on national TV and they didn't escort him out the building and they ain't do nothing to him. And then 10 minutes later, after break is over, he win an Oscar. Okay. They actually had 3 nominees, but only 2 won. They had Denzel, Samuel Jackson, and Will Smith. That shit was for shock value. We call that encroaching on the algorithm in the social media world. Period.
Yeah.
Period. That shit was a show. How the fuck can you watch a show full of actors trying to win an award and then they do something just out of the blue and you not think it's an act? You believe Denzel when he was in Glory and Training Day. You know what I'm saying? So why can't you believe this an act now? This shit ain't serious, man. It's serious, but it's not serious. It's symbolic, but it's allegorical. It's too many feelings inside of it for you to pick a side. Well, that is asinine. It's asinine because you know one side gonna tell you, man, there ain't nowhere in hell Chris Rock let that man smack him on national TV. Then it's another feeling that say they set that up because of the way he smacked him, his whole stance. We know when you smack somebody in the hood, when you walk up and smack somebody in the hood, their head they gonna sideways, it's gonna go up because they can't believe. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen nobody get slapped in the head go like this. Every time I ever see somebody get slapped, boy, you got me. It's an immediate reaction, bro.
Yeah.
Hey man, hey, we just watched that shit in real life, in real time. Hey man, they pass out awards for acting, bro. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way that shit. There's no way that a person can sit there and watch that and even take it serious. Because that's what they do. They have to attack the biggest icons. They have to bring them to a lower stage to keep the separation brewing. Because they know there's black people that watch that shit and they said, man, ain't no way a motherfucker would have put their hands on me and I would have done something. So they don't like them for that. And then you got the other side that say, oh, that wasn't classy. That was what they call that shit, King? That was niggerish. That was plantation shit. So now you got those two minds fighting each other. So you got one side saying he was defending his family. Then you got the other side saying, why can't he just pull him to the side to talk to him? See, they keep the separation between us. You feel what I'm saying? They keep that's that old argument. Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X, but you never see white folks arguing about George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. We argue that. You feel what I'm saying? So, hey man, what they say, man, when the cat is away, the mouse will play. That's all. They needed that. It's shock value. That's all that shit is, bro.
Facts.
That's all that shit. That's all that shit is, man. That shit don't mean nothing. Will Smith and Chris Rock make more money than all of us, and we all talking about them, but they all just pulled in a bag within 48 hours. So
Yep.
they all just pulled in the bag. If the bag wasn't important to them, Will Smith, when Jada felt some type of way, you think that show that Jada came out and all that dude Augustine, whatever his name is, probably he been doing shit, right?
Lord.
And Will and Jada been talking about that shit. But you know what? They made an executive decision. Nigga, that's what they call an executive decision. Nigga, it's gonna benefit the company. It's gonna benefit the brand.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying? That's what you call a power couple. When goddamn it, when Jay-Z, when Beyonce's sister went at Jay-Z in that elevator and all that shit came out, did Beyonce leave Jay-Z? No. But all the simpletons that pay her bills and buy them jets for her, they all go, you independent and doing up, man. She on the beach with her husband, man, looking back and they discussing marital problems, G. That shit is to make the bag. It's a show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show because we pay for it. You know, buyers, I tell motherfuckers when they see stuff like that, King, buyer beware. Nigga, that's no different in the hood. When the CD man come to you right now and say, hey man, I got the latest right now. The first thing the person that know the bullshit, you know what they're gonna say? Hey man, show me that shit. Don't tell me that shit a screenshot, what they call it, a screen copy. Show me it's a screen copy. Oh man, I ain't got no DVD player on me, but you can trust me. Now you know what, fam, I'm good. And you walk off. It's the other nigga that say, all right, bro, I'm gonna trust you on this. You gonna give me, they ain't never met that nigga a day in their life. That okay, I'm gonna take your word on it. Now they get to the crib, they got their meal, they done got undressed, they done filled their cup up full of Kool-Aid, pop, or whatever they drink. They food ready to go. They put that shit in, man. This nigga's walking past the screen, nigga. You gotta cut all the lights off in the house, nigga, even to see what's going on the DVD, bro. That's what we just saw.
You been up there.
Straight up, bro. That's what we just saw, nigga. That's blue line action, bro. Hey, well, go ahead, Freddie. Talk your shit, kid.
You come out west and buy CDs and DVDs?
Bro, I never buy a CD off the red line, blue line, or orange line, bro. If I'm on the south side, bro, if a person ain't walking around with no DVD player with a bunch of DVDs, I ain't watching that shit, bro. You can't sell me nothing. You can't sell me nothing that you can't show me. That's what it is, bro. I don't do that. That's why I don't even buy shit off Amazon, nigga. I want to when I walk in the store, that's what I want. I want to be able to see what I'm buying, bro. I don't want to see that shit on no screen. I don't want nobody to tell me what size it is and how good it is. I want it right then and there, nigga. I ain't never been no window shopper. What I want, I'm gonna be able to get, bro. If I can't afford it, then that means I don't want it. That ain't for me, bro. That's out my tax bracket, bro. I'm gonna leave it alone. I was thinking too much. I wanted something that, I was out of place. I'm on the wrong level. You feel me?
Off that red table shit, that man in a couple days they made that off there. I mean, motherfuckers get smacked. Man, ain't no niggas, man. Niggas is the niggas keep the world go. Niggas make the world go round. I'm telling you. They know that shit too.
Within 48 hours, I know Jada and Will, man. I know they motherfucking tax bracket went up at least 40 or 50 mil, bro.
Yep.
Easy. Easy. Cause they can't wait till a red table talk. And Facebook about to pay her even more money to talk about it. They
Yep.
gonna come to her. She can completely ignore them. Facebook could come to her because her red table talk is on Facebook. They're gonna say, "Hey man, we'll give you 30 million to talk about the Oscars."
Mm-hmm.
She can come to them and say, "No, give me 45."
Probably real idea.
Yep.
I say both of we. Most of them.
Oh yeah, and I guarantee you they probably ain't had sex in 3, 5 since they last baby. Them motherfuckers ain't having sex.
They came out what about 10 years ago and said they held an open relationship. Why you think when that shit went down with that R&B singer Augustine, that shit didn't bother him. They had an open relationship. They've been told
Yeah.
us that shit. Like just like some people would say the Will Smith thing was a distraction, but a distraction from what? You've been distracted. You've been distracted. You can't wait for it to warm up in Chicago so you can do what? Run to the store and barbecue and buy fireworks and buy liquor and buy rib tips and spend money. They're gonna make money and then they're gonna take your money and they're gonna go give it to somebody else. And then we're gonna cry about in the next election, we're gonna want what? Better health care, better jobs, better education, better housing. We're gonna ask for the same thing all over again. So of course they don't respect us. So we got to take all of that in consideration before we start complaining about something. What are you complaining for? What are you doing to stop the complaints? What are you doing as the individual? Don't worry about what nobody else is doing because people gonna do what they want to do. You know, in the book of Matthew, you say, fraternize not, do not fraternize over the wrongdoer. You feel what I'm saying? That's like if a person is a vegan. If you're a vegan, you're supposed to post vegan foods and healthy foods. Because what's the opposite of that? Gyros, pizza puffs, steaks, meat. That's what you do. You gotta pick your lane and ride your lane. You can't play both sides of the fence because one day somebody your name gonna get called at the same time, and you're gonna be in two places. You can't be at two places at once. You gotta pick a side. You got to pick something that you want to do and what you want to stand for. You feel what I'm saying? But it's an uphill battle. And that, like they say, you can't piss uphill without it coming back down on you and you feeling that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a whole bunch of shit we can do. It's a whole bunch of power that we have as individuals, but we have to do our part. We have to get the message out. We have to speak the peace. We have to speak the resistance to the power. No matter how much we want to be comfortable and do what we want to do, if that's how you want to live, you can absolutely do that. But you can't complain about the system. You can't brag about how good you work in the system and brag about how bad the system treats you at the same time. That's what you call an oxymoron. It don't work like that. And I'm not saying that as if I do all things or I'm on a higher level than somebody else. When I say you and we, I'm talking about me as well. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to be able to we have to be able to disengage from the very thing that we speak against. You can't speak against the system and you work and you benefit from the system because that's what the system is set up for. The system is set up for to give you a Kevin Hart versus a Mike Epps versus a Kevin Hart, or Kevin Hart versus Cat Williams, Will Smith versus Chris Rock. The system is set up like that. They're gonna always find the elite of you to cause the confusion. They're gonna always put that star up there. You're gonna always get a Jill Scott versus a Nicki Minaj or a Lauryn Hill or a Mulatto versus what's her name?
Megan or
A
Cardi.
rap, a Cardi B or a Megan Thee Stallion. They're gonna always put us against each other. They're gonna always find one and they're gonna raise them to the top so they can raise them to a level. So when you look up to them, you're gonna disappoint them. They're gonna put them in a position to where you can feel disappointed in them and not think highly of them. But that don't happen with inside their community. Divide and conquer, that shit is to another level. It's at a greater level, and we see it. It's just hard for us to defend by it because they make the conditions so hard. So when we see one of us make it, we just want to cheer on the person that make it. But it just so happens that the person that we cheer on, they're just as lost as we are, if not more, because they find themselves in a condition and they're privy to an understanding, but they ignore the understanding, so that put them in a worse condition than we are. So when they disappoint us, that's why we always say, I knew that nigga wasn't shit.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like it's you cheering for the person escaping the plantation, but really they ain't escaped the plantation. They just went from the cotton field to the house. Yeah. That's why that Will Smith, that shit that's going on with Will Smith, that shit is so important because that shit is universal. It's universal. You have to be able to see it from different points. You can't just look at it and see it from one point. You have to see it from multiple points because your enemy wear different type of faces.
Yep.
He know how to work your emotions. We're talking about a person that studied rats and roaches and ants and butterflies and bees and put cameras on cheetahs and lions and hyenas and elephants. You think he ain't studied you before he did all of that? He hit you. And somebody's always. I remember I said this in a song a long time ago. I said you would sell your soul if you had the chance to go spend it.
Uh-huh.
Because when you down and you out and you worried and you stressed, you looking for a quick window. We all say what we'll do if we got that opportunity to get out of that shit. But what are you giving up to get out of that shit? We talking about a man that's a straight man with a family that got on there and he did something that was other than heterosexual. We see it all the time. All the time, man. It's a war going on outside. And some people is not privy to seeing that shit. But this Jada and this Will Smith and this Chris Rock shit, what you just witnessed was another great movie. That's all you witnessed. It wasn't no different than Men in Black, Independence Day, After Earth, Muhammad Ali. You was watching an actor define the law of free expression. That's it. Did Chris Rock make a joke that was distasteful and you could have took it personally? Yes, he did. But was it a joke? Absolutely. Or is he considered a comedian? Absolutely. These are the same people that was 6 years ago was talking about boycotting the Oscars. And what did we find them? Front row center. Because why? Somebody say, you know what? We nominate you. You know what? You did all right. You didn't do the last 6 years, we wasn't feeling it. But this movie right here, come here. We like you. Pat you on your head. Good job. Good job, young boy. And you showed up dressed to impress. And that's how they get down. That's how they give it up. And it only take a few seconds, not minutes, not hours, not days, not weeks. Just a few seconds for us to forget who the fuck we dealing with. And now what? You can't log into Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, or YouTube without talking about who? Will Smith. But you know who's the bigger payout? The Academy Awards, the Oscars. Because now you're looking forward to next year. The game is to be sold, not told. And what is game? Game may number unfamiliar information. And when shit look unfamiliar to you, you just accept it how it comes to you. And then you make your decisions based on how it responds to you later on. Whether it's wrong, right, endeavor, or beneficial. That's point blank period. That's what you just watched. Just watched a good ass movie. It just was only 17 seconds. Imagine that. Normally it take you $20 to see an hour plus of good entertainment. But this time it didn't cost you nothing. And it only took 17 seconds for you to for it to consume your whole week. That's called power and control.
Live free and be happy, baby.
LFBH, live free, be happy. LFBH, LFBH, live free, be happy. LFBH, LFBH, live free, be happy. LFBH, LFBH, live free, be happy. LFBH.